story is about accomplishment at the highest levels.
Literally at the highest levels, my friend. He is the most inspiring story he has, dreaming of what one wants in life and reaching to grab a handful of it. As you will see, this Clevelander believes only the sky is the limit. Really, the sky is where he has lived and found his success. Amid images of American space travel, the man walks, looking at photographs, but really peering into them with inquisitive eyes. Space travel has long called him. This man is in love with the world of the sky, for he has touched its far side. A man with aeronautical thought and space travel heart. That far distant place beyond the Earth's surface pulses through his bloodline.
I belong to an organization with Buzz. Buzz and I scuba dive twice a year.
Buzz Aldrin, second man on the moon.
Yeah.
A greater Cleveland man who has been there. Years ago, BLUFORD was an astronaut on missions of Space Shuttle. So at the NASA Glenn Visitors Exhibit of the Great Lakes Science Center, BLUFORD walks amid images which chronicle America's exploration of that vast frontier, space.
So I came in 78. I met all the old guys.
Yeah.
So I knew Alan Shepard and Neil Armstrong and Jim Lovell.
Guy on BLUFORD's feet are grounded in retirement, but space travel is only a memory away. His place in history is assured. First African-American in space. In his adopted home of Cleveland, BLUFORD often shuns the limelight of fame, but limelight finds him, certainly at Great Lakes Science Center, where its president escorts him through NASA's space collection. Really, astronaut BLUFORD escorts her.
He's beyond a pioneer, right? I mean, spaceflight is about stretching humans as far as you can go. He really is the pinnacle of that.
I agree, as do others. Visitors cluster around the spaceman, normally low-key until you ask him about space. I did.
I applied for the program in 77, along with 8,000 other people, and got selected.
Years before, BLUFORD had been the school kid who wanted to be an aerospace engineer. He became one, and then joined the Air Force as a pilot. He flew combat missions in Vietnam. Afterward, he applied for NASA's astronaut corps. NASA liked him. BLUFORD went into space as flight engineer in 1983 on Shuttle's 8th Earth-orbiting mission.
It's a very hostile environment, so you have to be very careful in it. And we worked pretty hard to try and reduce the amount of danger.
Married to Linda, they had children. The family accepted the danger of BLUFORD in space. Family-oriented, philosophically, he stayed anchored to family.
And I never put that on them. So it was just for them, it was just another job.
After that 83 flight, a return to space 3 more times, handling different jobs each time. Retired now at 74, the PhD in aerospace engineering. The former astronaut walks among images of space travel, reflecting.
I knew in high school that I wanted to be an aerospace engineer. It was strange to everybody, but a lot of that excitement came from going to museums.
And so in museums like Cleveland's Great Lakes Science Center, the man who looked skyward knows there are others who want to follow the steps he took when he was young and inquisitive about space.
Watching the shuttles, each mission, and it's just to be able to meet somebody that's been there and back 4 times is just so cool.
Well, I appreciate that, but I also recognize that part of my job is to encourage other people to do the same.
Guy BLUFORD has lived in Cleveland for 22 years, flying under the radar, not saying much about his life as an astronaut. But he is a bona fide hero, first African-American in space, and then 3 more flights. Story of the kid who grew up in Philadelphia, who wanted to be an aerospace engineer, and then a fighter pilot, and then an astronaut, and who went off to find the other side of the sky.
I recognized that I was a role model, and I wanted to do as good a job as possible to tell people that African Americans can be just as good astronauts as they can as scientists and engineers and pilots.
A Cleveland hero in every way. About 550 people have traveled into space, where Guy Bluford has journeyed 4 times. No plans for a return now. Still, Guyon Bluford thinks of those times when he left the bounds of this planet and floated in Earth's orbit, riding space shuttles' outstretched wings. Greater Cleveland's Guy Bluford is in both the U.S. Astronauts and the International Space Halls of Fame and is cited in 100 of America's greatest African Americans. He tells children as a kid he knew he wanted to be an aerospace engineer. He made the grade and eventually earned a doctorate in it. Guy Bluford set his sights for everything he has accomplished. This is Leon Bibb reminding you of what you can do when you realize only the sky is the limit. In Guy Bluford's case, even beyond the sky.
He is in such an elite group, you know, that they've had this experience that the rest of us can only see from a distance.
Yeah, he's got a wonderful story. I love his story is he never liked to sleep in the bags that they have on the walls in Space Shuttle when they're up in Earth orbit. He didn't like hanging in the wall in that bag. He says, I just stretched out in the air and went to sleep. And he just floated, stretched out in the air.